Now, I don't know if anyone's noticed or not lately, but this channel's had a lack of cold steel. And for that, I sincerely apologize. I'm sorry, Lynn. I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm sorry, Meat Boots. The big news is this year is they were sold to a company called GSM, which was met with skepticism. Oh, that was last year. So what I mean to say is there's lingering skepticism over last year's sale. But the good news is GSM paid me $500,000 to cook up some hot takes over some backyard video, say y'all a little more, and celebrate all the things that made Cold Steel great. Okay, that's a lie. The channel is unsponsorable, even by Cold Steel. By that I mean no sponsors would poke this rotting fart corpse of a channel with the 85 1/4 inches of the Sergeant's halberd. But what isn't a lie is how much I love Cold Steel. And earlier this year, I got the ultimate Cold Steel. That doesn't mean Lynn is living in a trailer in my driveway, although I wish he would, but that I got the Espada XL, the ultimate. A fellow knife bro decided he'd sell me his at a good price, as long as I promised him I'd injure myself with it, and I did it the right way. I punctured myself about 1 inch from my kneecap as I was sitting at my computer desk, watching some Cold Steel videos and trying to snap it. A can of Monster to my right, my camo hat on, you know the one, in my underwear, and hopefully mayonnaise stains on my shirt patterned after some lost South Pacific archipelago where Lynn goes to live out his twilight years and practices footwork and martial arts. But before we go any further, with perhaps one of the more beautiful mental images we've collectively shared for the channel, let's look at our dimensions of this technically a pocket knife. Beautiful, beautiful dimensions. If it doesn't fit in your pocket, you need bigger pants, you fucking loser. The Espada XL, designed by a collaboration between Andrew Demko and our Holy Father. I got in trouble recently for taking the Lord's name in vain. Actually, I get in trouble often on this channel. But the Espada XL is a big as shit fucking pocket knife. Like, goddamn, it's big. And there are a few models of the Espada, just so you don't get confused. And this one is the Cadillac. It's the biggest and the best, and if you bought the large Espada, just know that you had one really easy decision, and you failed miserably at it. Let me explain. The, quote, large Espada is a little 5.5 inch blade, and the XL here is a 7.5 inch blade. Math and science says that that's 2 inches more on the Espada XL. So don't tell me the large is more pocketable or manageable because you sound like a damn idiot. Anyway, the only Espada that matters features a 7.5 inch blade made from S35 VN steel. And a clip point, looking more like a flat grind to my eyes. I don't want to, imagine what the intended purpose of such a knife is and what it's useful for. Self-offense, fighting car hoods, boar wrestling. When does the boar stop becoming a sparring partner and more of a mate? Who knows? But the blade is sharp and you've had a half a bottle of Jack, so you should be just fine. Deployment can be described in a few ways. Gravity style. Cue up the Charles Bronson face and flick as hard as you can. Will it fly out of your hand? Maybe. But the better question is, should people have been standing in that direction in the first place? How about pulling that knife out of your chest cavity, you bystander, and having a little bit of personal responsibility? Probably had a joint in your pocket anyway, you criminal. The rule of thumb is, you should never approach a man with a cold steel. Don't talk to him, stay away from him. Which makes sense because there's probably a court order anyway and they get thrown in jail. Another method, like the second one I guess, is the pocket deployment. Depending on the current fashion trends right out of the True Religions or Gencos is the best way. Pull, pop, pull, pop. Try to hold on to the 1 pound knife, child. That said, you need to hit the pocket at the right angle as you rip it out. Make sure you have the camera rolling first though. You're going to mess up a few times for sure. You can always edit that out though. Or you don't have to film, you can just go under someone's video and tell them the right way to do it, which is what most people do. Basically, the thumb meat disc up top catches the edge of your pocket, tears it a little every time, just a tiny little micro tears, and whips the blade out. It takes some practice, but eventually you'll get it. Then I guess there's the old two-handed opening if snapping it or popping it isn't quite your speed. Then whittle your grandkids something nice out of the pig carcass. Be careful about touching raw meat. The thumb disc is held on by a tiny little screw. You aren't supposed to baton with this knife because it, says not to. But if you did, hitting that disc repeatedly will cause the screw to break. I've learned my lesson on the Colossus if you've seen that video. I'll link it. Now if you haven't handled the triad lock before, it's Cold Steel's badass version of that beta lockback. It can hold like 800 pounds or some shit. That's like whole dudes worth of weight, like big dudes. Okay, it's actually more like 600. I just don't want to put bad info out there, so carefully measure you and the weight of both of your cousins before rigging up that pallet and rolling that video. Now, if you've experienced lock stick but not on a triad, well, you're in for a treat. Lock stick on cold steels is a feature, not a bug, because why in the hell are you closing your knife anyway? It really sounds unprepared to me. A good stiff press disengages the lock, probably, and if it didn't release, your baby hands aren't pressing hard enough. You press to release and close the knife carefully. The handle is mostly composed of shiny chrome and polished G10. Okay, and by chrome I mean 70-75 aluminum for the bolsters and liners.
I guess that's what chrome is these days. Aluminum. Because you gotta save weight somewhere, Andrew.
It's Andrew Demko's grandpa giving him tips on knife construction. Feeling a little crazy today, guys.
He's like a modern day Dave Barry or Tim Allen.
And now that handle's going to fit your hands and the hands of your drunk cousins pretty well. There's a lot of room there. It looks about like it feels. There's a little bit of edginess on the inside of the handle where the blade kind of folds in. But, you know, you could knock that down with some fine grit sandpaper. Of course, there's always going to be the... I would like to buy the Espada XL, but I'm not really sold on the Ergos. Now, I personally don't know what the approved use of this knife is. Like, two hands, do you chop? Do you food prep? You're doing detail work? I mean, if I had to guess, I'd say you're most likely dismembering the body of a bystander you have accidentally killed, showing your new cold steel to. I'm really having a hard time providing any real factual information about this knife, I'll be honest. It has a handle, and it's kind of slick. There's enough curves you can hold on to it, grip on it, you know, practice your martial arts. And if you're strong enough and have the fortitude, you can hold on to it. I did find when doing, and I'm sorry that I'm saying this, doing push cuts downward, doing useful things, breaking down some large boxes for the recycling bin, just out of view of the neighbors, of course. You know, you could duck down behind the car and they don't see you using the Espada XL to break it down. But my hands would inevitably go to the lock area as I squeeze the knife. There's a ton of handle to grip, but I would often grip and push near the bolster. It never disengaged, plus the force was downward anyway, but remember, lock stick is a feature. The pocket clip. If you own a few cold steels, well, you know what they're like. Kind of short for the size knife, ugly, but it grips tight. It'll kind of tear up your pockets, but you know, that's again part of its charm. The knife is way too big for most pockets. You'll need a little bit of an angle to fit it because you're gonna carry this out somewhere, I can tell. I mean, I'm sure as I speak this, someone's already down there tapping it out, how you wear it inside the waist of your 511s, and here's how you properly hide it. And explaining this very seriously on how they plan on using it for self-defense. I just want to be clear when I say 511s, I mean, you know, I don't mean the Levi fit. Comparisons. First, the XL. It's a folding knife that is larger than most fixed blades your out on parole cousin from Missouri owns. Missouri. If you have to even ask if it's practical, then you don't fundamentally understand what cold steel is or does. It's very well made, like a lot of cold steels, very sharp out of the box, can withstand reasonable amounts of abuse, although suffice to say most of the stuff seen in this video is not reasonable. But what more do you want me to say? It's $329 at Blade HQ, I think right there. Yep, looking at it. I paid about $220 on the secondary for it, slightly used. It's not a cheap knife, but it's the knife, you know. Here it is next to the Cold Steel SRK with SK5 steel, not the expensive one. This runs about $40 and the Espada XL dwarfs it. All right, here's the Blade HQ exclusive $62 Kalashnikov XXL. Also a big knife. And the Espada XL makes it look like a regular Kalashnikov. It's an auto. Which, you know, what if Cold Steel made an Espada XL auto? It'd definitely come with a waiver. The Kalashnikov is my largest non-Cold Steel folding knife. Or is that the Spyderco K2? Can't remember. Here it is next to the Ti-Lite Ti-Lite S35 VN. I found this on Knife Swap a few years ago for like $35 and I'm still giddy about the deal. This is the big 6-inch version, I think the largest, which runs about $100 or $110, depending on where you buy it. Remember, the wrong way to buy a cold steel is to not opt for the biggest knife in the model lineup. Now the Luzon. Yeah, another. I tell myself, and this glowing eyes version of Lynn that always walks beside me, that I have a very healthy amount of cold steel knives. He definitely doesn't tell me to kill people. Lock stick on this one is legendary. Very impressive though, even way more than this one. Hates being put away. Here's the Colossus, very normal looking and very normal that I have another one, right? You know, everyone has at least 20 cold steels. I'm sure I'm not on a list anywhere. and I can stop at any time. That's the important thing. Do they make this one anymore? It'd be a shame if they didn't, because this one's really slicey. Okay, wouldn't be a comparison section without the Paramilitary 2 and Friends. I shot this a while ago, which is why my new G10 Flytanium scales aren't on it. Now I have a new pocket clip for it. The Military up top is a 4-inch bladed knife, by the way. Okay, wrapping it up. The question may be posed, why the Espada XL? It seems stupid, right? Okay, you know what? Let's back up for a second. We need to first understand knife collecting at its core is very stupid. So if you collect them, you are automatically stupid. If you already had one you liked, then why did you buy the other ones? To show your knife buddies, to hide in a drawer and look at occasionally, to attract a mate so they can stack the charges.
We found 15 knives on them, sir. 3 additional on a cavity search, and another 300 at home with a stack of sticky hustlers and some powdery substances. Turns out the powder was from some donuts.
I guess my LEO voice is always a variation on Chief Wiggum. The Espada XL is well made, has no real practical purpose, and if someone saw you with it out in the real world, they're going to think something's seriously wrong with you, right? So it's a must buy. And to be a bit real, the abuse seen in this video is a little overkill and ultimately did affect blade centering. Repeated wax with wood while it's lodged in wood. The wood will actually bend the blade because the wood is hard and it doesn't split. It's cottonwood. It deforms and bends the parts, over a few minutes. It's not quite like it originally was. Nothing's broken though. So like, subscribe, comment, buy a t-shirt or a sticker, right here. I finally got some magnets that I could give away. I don't know when I'm gonna give them away. Say hi to the patrons here. They did their part. They helped me. I just got a new camera. Hopefully my next video will be shot with a new camera, the Panasonic GH5S. I got my new computer this year, so I've been recording and editing on all of it. So patrons help me buy new equipment. That and 12-month financing with no interest. So sign up over there to support me, a patron, or buy t-shirts or whatever. Those all help. Anyway, thanks for watching.